Alrighty, hopefully my voice hasn't gone completely robotic. Good, the mic seems to have picked that one up without too much trouble. Hello everybody, and welcome to our Wednesday Starfleet Command stream, starting at 7, ending at around-ish 9. And yeah, we're going to be continuing our Federation versus Klingon campaign. Hello Raider, hello Nathan, welcome to the stream. For Claire and Honor, we fly to war. That's the enemy right now. This is Federation versus Klingon. But yeah, our intention is very much to fly towards glory and defeat the honorable Klingons. Let's take a quick gander at the map here. We have basically absorbed the entire southern half of the galaxy at the moment, which is quite fun. Not the entire galaxy, I suppose. The entire southern half of the Klingon Empire. Maybe a third? Yeah, we'll be generous and call it a third. And we are in a dreadnought USS Napoleon. So the USS Napoleon will continue to fly through Klingon space and destroy everything. Hello, Rimmer. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could join us. And let's just quickly make sure that we're fully kitted out and ready to rock. It does appear that we indeed are. I could do this if I really wanted to spend a lot of cash, but I'm not going to, because I'm too used to using medium missiles. So without further ado, let us set out into space and figure out what the heck's going on. And a MET temp patrol for the very beginning is a perfect way to start. We get to roll in as the Federation and have a little bit of fun. So, in recent Starfleet Command Orion Pirates news, the guys over at Hot and Spicy are apparently working very hard on improving the base game. Now, for me, that's a little bit sad because we do not play the base game, but they are improving models. They are Tar sent me an entire... Was it Tar? No, it was Alex. Sent me an entire batch of photos of some amazing new artwork that they're doing for new star-based models, new defense platforms, updated the normal ship models. It's really looking good. So the base game is definitely getting a facelift to be not quite like Orion Pirates Plus. They're not going to be using all those models, but it's going to look good like Orion Pirates Plus. I suppose that's the best way to describe it, is just, they're updating the models to make them look nice. And so you all can look very much forward to that. If you're not into playing Orion Pirates Plus and you just want to play the base game, you've got some fun stuff coming along. They're also updating the ship list, and Tar mentioned that he's going to be helping to mod the game as well to change things like Wild Weasel shuttles. They want to try and get the rule set even more dialed into Starfleet battles, which is, in my book, a great thing to do. I am, of course, a little bit worried being a Marak player. Anything that improves anti-missile defense in any way is terrible, of course, for me. But it sounds like he's got a really cool plan, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what sort of things they come up with. Now, that probably will not turn into us playing the base game. I'm going to be completely honest. I adore the fact that we have a massive array of ship types and ship models. So maybe not going to switch over to that, but absolutely if you're looking to just play the normal game without all of some of the crazy changes that happened with Orion Pirates Plus mod, that's going to be available for you, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's quickly take a moment and prepare ourselves with our Wild Weasels, and well, we actually probably don't need the Wild Weasel, do we? We are fighting Klingons, so that's a Romulan reflex right there. We'll ignore that. Just need a scatter pack. And we could go with the Suicide Shuttle. I don't know if anybody noticed during the top 10 list, or the top 8 list for the battleships, but at the very end, the Suicide Shuttle makes a very prominent appearance in that list. And I didn't know if anybody would pick up on it, and to be fair, nobody did. But it was a very tiny, tiny thing. So let's get ourselves fully up to speed here, because I really actually want to get into this battle. We have been faffing about and talking about, I can't say industry news, but Starfleet Command news just a little bit. So let's pop up the shield reinforcement. We've put everything power. How much is currently in the shield budget? 7.5. I can rob that. It's a heavy cruiser versus a heavy cruiser. Fleet screen is going to tell us it's a DX, capital X. Very dangerous, incredibly so. We're going to have to figure out a way to deal with him by mainly annihilating him. We have 14 phaser 1s. Okay, so we are not in the X era ourselves, at least not in terms of ship class, although we are fairly close to being able to buy a battleship, which I'm kind of leaning towards getting. After all, the Federation battleship showed up in slot number 5? Yeah, 5, because Hydrons were 4. And we're thinking Hydrons maybe need to move up to 2, but, well, we'll think about it. So how have you guys been doing tonight? Has everybody been having a good time so far? Are we enjoying things? How about the Hydron campaign? We finally got our battleship carrier, so we can very much look forward to that. Hello, you're going to die here. So shut off the missile launchers just to make sure that he doesn't do anything about it, but he's going to die, I think. Slow down. Okay, he's not actually dead. I have a great deal of disappointment. I'm going to have to pull away from him, and hopefully I can get enough. Oh, good, he doesn't have his shuttle bay. Lovely. Cascade failure. Okay, lovely, he's up. For the BB list, we'll have to keep an eye out for that shuttle. That's some big GB shuttle tactics. It doesn't show up in the list properly, but it shows the one-punch... Yes, the one-punch battle was ridiculous. I did not realize any battleship was actually capable of that. because I did a lot of testing and that never happened. So we now know that the Hydran battleship is literally capable of killing somebody in one shot, which is pretty astonishing. The next list, by the way, that I'm currently thinking about doing, someone suggested it, and I'm sorry, I cannot remember at the moment who, but I could go look back and see who it was. But they suggested starting frigates. And I'm wondering if I should do starting frigates based on which race has the easiest start based on their frigates, or just the starting frigates all fighting each other. Because I think that would be actually a really interesting thing to pop out. Hello, are you going to have fun with this? I don't quite know what happened to that, but apparently... Oh, wow, you have a ton of tractor beams. That's what happened to that. You can shoot at me all you want. You're not penetrating my missile... I take that back. You penetrated my missile defenses. 66% is not good enough to make that hard turn. Starting frigates fighting each other. That would be an interesting test. I'll have to get used to flying with super low speeds and low maneuverabilities. Although, it of course needs to be noted that these lists, and this was pointed out by Tar, these lists are very much only for single player. Because most of the tactics that we use would never work in a multiplayer environment. Yeah, we could do starting frigates fighting each other. That's a nice contained list. It brings us back down to only 8 choices instead of like 30-something destroyers per faction. There has been some complaints that the Orion Pirates Plus ship list is a little bit bloated, and you know what? I don't care. Shame a large CV not showing up? Oh, you think we should go space control ship? Because we could go space control ship. Federation does have one of the better... They do have one of the better super carriers in the game. It's not as big as the Iron Chancellor, which is just ridiculously huge. It's got like 24 fighters on board. That's 6 fighters per squadron. That's ridiculous on so many levels. So we could go in that direction, or we could pick up a battleship carrier, although I think that's only 12 fighters for the Federation, so it's not exactly huge. Squaring off against an MD5, which... You're not a Mauler, are you? Well, we're about to find out. Let's make sure our electronic warfare is actually doing the things that we needed to do. For those of you looking for more Tomcat streams, and I don't really know if there are many of you, but hey, we'll probably be doing it. Sprogue, who has been my faithful Rio in all of our streams so far, is going to be upgrading his PC soon, and so we'll be able to Rio without crashing every 5 minutes, which will be pretty fun. So probably look out for a couple of impromptu streams coming up. I'll try and announce them on the Discord ahead of time just to give you guys a heads up. But, yeah. The Hydran campaign would be good to see one. Rimmer, did you miss the fact that we're in a Monarch battleship carrier, or did I just spoil the fact that what happened last episode? Yeah, we got into a Monarch battleship carrier. We have 20 fighters. There's literally only one ship that I know of that has more fighters than us, and it is the Iron Chancellor, who we looked for desperately and could not find. Ah, poor Iron Chancellor. You exist somewhere, just not in my fleet. You are a Mauler. I thought so. I had the sneaking suspicion. Okay, let's see if I can't blitz down his shields, stun out his shuttle bay, and kill him. Yeah, the shuttle bay's destroyed, so... Which button is missiles? That button is missiles, there we go. Oh, but you have quite the anti-missile defense system. That's actually pretty impressive. So let's keep coming around. We've got the heavy phaser. Well, not heavy phasers. There are specifically 2 heavy phasers in this game, and we have neither of them. Although I constantly call X-phasers heavy phasers, which, not quite accurate. So, a little bit of mine work coming out of the Dream Slayer. It's an incredibly emo name for you, sir. Look forward to watching Glad one came on. Yeah, it did. Apparently, it actually came along at the beginning of the episode, and I just scrolled right by it, but we ended up picking it up. And so, it is ours. Our fleet is finally complete with all the firepower that we could ever desire. I don't think this will get to the point defense system, but I figure I may as well try because we're probably already down below half. Yeah, not quite. Phasers, on the other hand, don't need to worry about anti-missile defense systems. I could try and go for a capture on you, sir, but I'm not going to bother. I mean, Mauler technology is not exactly something that I care about at the moment. Oh, that'd be interesting if capturing ships helped, like, your tech tree. Oh, that'd be a lot of fun. If they ever remaster, remake, and make Starfleet Command 4, or just reboot the entire series, that would be a really interesting wrinkle to go with. Alright, let's see how much prestige we get for bullying a Mauler. Only 150, that makes perfect sense, all things considered. Let's see our pro defense here. Oh, 5, wow, we almost got it. So we'll pop over here, take a mission, take a scouting mission, because obviously that's what you send a heavy dreadnought on to do. You send them to scout locations, sneak around, skulk. And send them into the green zone. There does appear to be a single light cruiser He is a DA5LR. Is that an extra nacelle? He is not. Okay. We shouldn't have any much trouble with him. Let's just set up the whole ship right now so I can get another idea of just how fast this thing's actually capable of going while fully charging. Just forward shield, please. And power. Power budget, I can steal this much from you if I still want a little bit of skirmishing defense. Which, you know, is actually pretty decent. That's what, 12, 13-ish? Not bad. Are you thinking of an escort FF or something along the lines with the Hydron, or are you going solo with the CV? Actually, I'm kind of planning on going XCBs. I figure that if we really want to just screw with people, XCBs would be the way to do it, because they bring a ton of Hellbores, and a Hellbore is a weapon system that you don't have to worry about giving to the AI. Like, because positioning doesn't matter with a Hellbore, a little bit, but because it mostly doesn't matter with a Hellbore, XCBs would probably be the best choice. And let's face it, at the end of the day, we're not going to run into fighters or missiles, so we don't need any sort of point defense aside from, you know, phaser Gs, which we use to kill people with. If we were fighting the Klingons, it might be a little bit different, because the Klingons do have some designs that come to bear with a little bit more firepower in the missile or fighter department, but Lyrans, I mean, Lyrans are terrible. I, honest to God, still do not quite realize how the Lyrans managed to be at near top levels in PvP, because they're terrible in every single way. Like, I get the idea, you trickle charge it and every 3-4 turns you get 20 damage out of it, but still, that's just... How are you not annihilated by Hydrons at close range? I mean, yeah, the fusion cannon needs to be even closer than a range of 3.9. That's an argument that I'm only going to ever fight once I start doing a little bit of PvP, which I'm not ever sure where I'll ever actually get to that. Okay, your missiles did essentially nothing. And... Ooh, you also have that fairly brilliant anti-missile defense system, but it looks like one of them might be offline. Take it back, wow, you were able to just shoot down everything. Fairly impressive little guy. See, if we were fighting the Klingons or as the Klingons, a little bit of point defense might be much more important, but because you're fighting the Lyrans who use pseudo-frigates who can't be shot at by AMDs, it becomes suddenly much less important. So we're just going to wait for our phasers to come back online. We're going to turn back around, give him sort of the tail slap since we've got the open shield. Very classic Federation technique. There we go. Just whipping on through with your phasers ablazing. The Federation XCAs actually do this even better because they've got 4 phaser Gs that aim only backwards. I was wondering why Klingons don't have photon torpedoes in this game. They do. There's a couple of specific Klingon ships that do have photon torpedoes specifically in order to be like the movies. It's the Burrell and the Katinga. Base assault, I'd rather not because I want to take the base intact. But yeah, there are a couple of Klingon ships in this game that do actually have photon torpedoes. They are few and far between. It is pretty much the Burrell and Katinga, and maybe like a light cruiser or two. But aside from that, yeah, it's not a common weapon. Gonna be a massacre boilers? Yup. Like I said, I think there might be a light cruiser who does it too, and there may be a dreadnought that does as well. Because if I'm not mistaken, the B-10 battleships had like a modular construction, or was it the B-11? No, the B-10 or the B-11 battleship had a modular construction, and so depending on which version you were using would change what sort of heavy weapons you had, and I believe one of them was a photon torpedo mount. 90% positive. I wouldn't quote me on it, but I would reference me on it. Heavy cruiser, what do we got? An actual threat? He's a D7X, so kind of not really. He's sort of dangerous, just not insane. Yeah, I used to try and make, like, Burrells work because, you know, photon torpedoes and all. But you gotta remember, Starfleet Battles came out, I believe, before the movies did. So it's very much based on just the original series and extrapolating from what they saw. So there's a lot of things that just don't quite jive, because they are separate universes. At the end of the day, we're operating under 2 very different, well, universal laws. So apparently you have an additional missile launcher, all of your phasers are X's, which is one of the reasons why Klingons, once they hit the little X upgrade, it's absurd, because these 4 phasers right here should be phaser 2s, and they are not. So the missiles, not so much. The AMD is pretty nice, and I think that comes from the missile racks. Maybe not, actually. 4 disruptors is pretty ignorable, if we're completely honest. It's not the most powerful ship we've ever run against. But then again, by this point of the war, if you're not in a C7X at least, you've probably done something wrong. C7s are amazing. I love them. They were probably my favorite ride in the Klingon campaign, and I'm eager to play through the Klingon campaign again with sort of like new eyes on things. Because I believe Klingons were Season 2, weren't they? We did Federation versus Klingon, then immediately went into Klingon versus Hydran, I think? So it's been quite some time since we've played as the Klingons. Although, I'm just desperately, fearing the whole planetary assault thing that's going to come up when we start playing Klingons. Because Federation don't do planetary assaults all that great. Klingons do it worse. Have you asked the forums to see maybe it's a rogue tech bug? Specifically what? I'm not sure what you mean. Goodbye, your forward shield. All the crew just turned up. Yep. That AMD. Oh, wow, we still baited out the weasel. Nice. The tech and morale bug? Part of me... Wait, the tech and morale bug, what? I thought for a second you meant the finances bug. Does the Phaser X take more power on overload? Yes, it takes 2 points of power to shoot on overload, which is why Phaser X ships all have to go either really slow or half their phaser capacitor if they want to use it effectively. So the phaser capacitor is basically doubled, which, you know, is pretty astonishing, all things considered. So yeah, the finance bug, I don't think it's vanilla. I'm 90% positive it isn't, but I don't know how to report it. Because there's no log that comes with it, because nothing crashed, nothing broke. It's just the save is somehow corrupt. So I'd report it if I knew how to report it. But as things stand, I just don't quite know, like, how would you bring that to them and say, hey, the finance thing keeps messing up. I have no additional information to give you. I'm not sure that'll help them. But maybe I should report it just for the sake of reporting. Oh, I love it when I can kill somebody with photon torpedoes. Yeah, Phaser X's take 2 points of power and do 1.5 times the damage of a Phaser 1. So, there's a bit of a trade-off, but it's generally worth it. Because Phaser 1s are absurd anyway. Hey, we've got it neutral. Of course, diplomatic delivery right as we're rushing to try and save things. Has somebody spoken with the forums? It's only a subreddit, by the way. And the subreddit is not for tech support. The Discord is. So if you go on their subreddit, they have a link to their Discord, and that's where you're supposed to report all things. But just as a fair warning, anybody who wants to go on there, the mod author is very strict about the way that things are supposed to be done, and it does expect a certain amount of deference, which is reasonable. I mean, I've been in the modding community for like 12 years-ish. Not like as a modder, but like working with modders and playing their games and working with feedback and tech support and stuff. First started back with PR, Project Reality, and Battlefield 2. So I kind of... There's a way that I know how to treat modders because they are worthy of a certain amount of respect. And I have noticed that a lot of people these days don't really treat them quite with the respect that they used to. So if you do sort of try and get involved in that, just understand that they're putting in a lot of time, like a lot of time, in order to bring us something that we enjoy a whole ton. So kind of go into that with that sort of mentality. So, but yeah. Not to scare anybody off from it. Rogue Tech is a fantastic mod. It is the best mod for Battletech. I know that there's been a couple of other great mods like 3025 Extended and the like, which also have apparently improved the game quite considerably, but I love my future tech. I love the fact that you've got all kinds of crazy stuff in that, like plasma rifles and heavy PPCs and all the fun stuff. I don't think I'd ever want to play a game that was just basically the base game with more mechs. I need my customization. Anyway, let's focus a little bit more on the Star Trekkin'. Although, one more thing for Rogue Tech, we need names. We've got 2 Centaurians. They're literally the same type of Centaurian. They're CN9Ds, I think. And they're equipped very differently, and they need different names. One of them has a Silverbolt Gauss, and the other one has a LBX-10. That's their main difference. Also, the LBX-10 also has missile launchers. But yeah, they need names of some kind. Someone has suggested Pepe Le Pew, and no, I'm not naming any of my battle mechs after skunks. What? I'm confused by you, Lorndale. You have confused me. Congratulations. So let's go deal with this C-10. You're a fighter carrier, aren't you? Silverheart? Yeah, that's not bad. They're Ultra Centaurians. I suppose I should kill you, shouldn't I? Missiles, please. Kill him. They probably won't kill him, but it'll go quite a ways in order to handle that. Let's just work with you, because we're about to get within range. Yeah, you're about to take, what, 6 times 24 is whatever. It's not that fast, come on. Besides, it's something to do while killing time. Because I don't want to accelerate too fast, we're only a distance of 10 away. Closer than that, actually. Oh, weapon select, let's go have a good time. Actually, let's not. Let's... Ooh, you fired missiles at me, I want to fire missiles at your buddy. Of course, you came into range just in time to support. And there goes your shield, and now I'll turn away. And preserve my forward shield. Are you dead? You're not quite dead. You're mostly dead, though, so we can work with that. That's a surprising... Oh, wow, you're a large version, aren't you? I was like, that's a surprising number of disruptors. He's got 6 of them, which... 2, 4, 6... Yeah, he's got the same number of disruptors as this dreadnought. So that's pretty impressive on several levels. Play with that. Okay, you weren't supposed to play with it like that. Okay, we have lost a shield now, which is a bit unfortunate. You, I want to be able to lob more missiles at just because you're dangerous and I don't want to have to deal with you. Repair crews, let's start getting things under, control. And I don't want to be quite this slow with a Klingon. Like that. Oh, come on. Really? That's in your range? Okay, we'll deal with it. Okay, we lost another shield, but we chunked down another one of his, and I can bring 3 more phasers to bear. A little bit of an interesting pattern there on the attack. Fix that, keep the engine repair going. We are getting a bit slow. I don't know, he's not... No, he's not bigger than me. C10 is maybe my level, if not a bit smaller. I'm not going to waste photon torpedoes on you. You are not worth that. Going on phasers, play with your shuttle. Yeah, well, they're AMDs. They're worse than phasers for my shuttles. The one thing I really want in this game is more missile types. More missile types would be the bomb. Here, play with that. Chunji Chew Toy. Have fun with it. I don't think he likes it. He's running away from it. Go back towards it. Surprise! It's a gift just for you. Don't be ungrateful and take it. Okay, I do have photon torpedoes ready to go, which is very nice. This screen did not get updated. So let's fix that. And fix that, because he does have missile launchers, and that's a little bit unfortunate. How are you still alive? You're impressive, I'll give you that much. So we haven't done any work, I don't think, to his rear shields, but we're in a good position to do something about it. But his, yeah, all of his forward shields are just completely fried. Wow, you're having a bit of a rough day, but as long as he keeps doing that, I can repair my systems. Mainly all my phasers back online. Yes, he is. How many forward shields I got? Oh, more than enough to handle whatever you're throwing at my... So you're about to lose 1, maybe 2 shields on this next run, buddy. So I hope you've made your peace about that. We're coming in nice and slow, let him waste his firepower. And if he wants to turn to give me an open shot, I will absolutely take it. Max power, more than enough, lovely. Range, not quite. I want to get a little bit closer. I want to make sure this hurts. I want to make sure this hurts a lot. Also, I want to make sure that he doesn't have any weapons to shoot back at me. Okay, there goes the shield. Probably should have turned in the other direction, but this is a more sustainable turn because I will be bringing 2 green shields online very shortly. Okay, lovely. Alright, that was not a bad attack. We've completely decimated another shield on him, and we'll pull out, let our photon torpedoes recharge, and we'll be right back in on things. Hello, monster. How are you doing? Little puppy dog. Just waddling over with his little 6 disruptors. Okay, he's knocked down his shield because he's turned back in hot on us. Yes, he is. He's very much hot on us. Luckily, the armor was able to handle pretty much all of that. You have apparently no power. So in order to maintain the speed of 11, he needs to be using every little bolt of power that he's got. That's a little bit unfortunate for him. Let's slow down a little bit. I don't want to get too close in on him. I'm perfectly happy to let him extend the range out if it gives me time to recharge my photon torpedoes, which is a really nice pickup for what he's giving. I'll increase the speed very slightly. Yeah, so the next list, I suppose, is going to be starter frigates. That means the Federation Donut. The Klingons get... They get an F5, don't they? And then the Romulans, unfortunately, get a Klingon ship, I think. Or do they get a Shrike? I think they get a Klingon destroyer. The Marak get that pretty interesting 2 missiles only and a single disruptor thing. I think early on, the Lyrans may actually have the biggest advantage just because it's 20 damage. It's 20 damage that can't miss. Although, you gotta remember the Romulan ships, which have 2 F-type plasma torpedoes, but they're slow. That's sort of the balancing factor, I suppose. Could plow into you with photon torpedoes. I'm not going to. I'm just going to slowly make your life unfortunate. Which part do I currently have? Yeah, more than enough. We're actually doing our charge speed at the moment, which is quite nice. Oh, let me get a little... Oh, that's an interesting thing. AMD. Okay, AMD does work. And the phasers were able to support that as well. So he's pulled into a turn, which is going to bring us nice and close to each other. I do want to be able to knock out this shield before it goes away, so... Oh, not terrific accuracy on that one. Managed to miss 2 of them. We are going to pull through, and that's his last shield that is in any state of repair. So we're going to fall back in good order, as we do. And then when we go back in, we're basically going to be blasting, well, basically nothing. Is the ESD damage reduced by defense shift? I don't believe so. I'm not positive on it, but I'm fairly certain it's not. It's a contact weapon, so it doesn't care. It's the only contact weapon, I suppose, that doesn't care. Because if I'm not mistaken, missiles are affected by defense shift, which is bizarre to me. Oh, he's going aggressive. Don't do that. Let me get some distance from you. We'll play in a bit, don't worry. Oh, there, he really does want us. So we're going to pull off in this direction. We could just go for the planet. I mean, it's right there. We can outrun him, no problem. But I want to kill him. There's a little bit of pride in being able to destroy a C-10X. That X is the reason, though, why he's given us so much trouble. His phasers are significantly better than ours. Okay, let's go back in. Hey, I don't have any shuttles. I was hoping I would have a scatterpack shuttle to deal with him, but I don't. So let's turn back in. Power. Okay, starting to rebuild the forward shield. So that's good. Wish I could turn just a little bit tighter here, but not quite, apparently. It's going to be interesting if we actually manage to cut him off at the pass. Because if we can get around fast enough, which we actually are. Okay, good. I heard that the drone damage is reduced by defense shift. I have no idea about how much. I don't know by how much either. You'd probably have to ask Tar that question, or, you know, look up the Starfleet Battles rules. There are a lot of rules in this game that are not explained in this game, but in SFP. There we go. That's 99 damage right there. That is an unfortunate position to be in, isn't it? Are you enjoying that? Hey, Marines. If you wanted to steal a ship, well, honestly, now would be the time. Got a little bit of damage going on here, so patch that, fix that. The Phaser 3 mount is, of course, important. And we'll drop a mine here just to sort of push them away. Although, if his doggy is very clever, his doggy will go right into it in order to damage us. We'd prefer that not to happen because, 1, animal cruelty, and 2, that would hurt us by 10 damage. There we go. A little bit of plinking phaser fire, hurting him quite badly. Oh, look at the speed drop. He's down to 0.7. And you still are not charging anything because you have no power. So I think we've got him. It took us a little bit of work, but we did manage to nail him. Could steal him. I can't steal this. You cannot beam over to these anymore. The thing that you could do, and this used to be the way to deal with monsters, is you could beam someone over to monsters and they'd instantly self-destruct. So they patched that, which made monster hunting a little bit more dangerous. What do you think, phasers or photon torpedoes? I'm thinking photon torpedoes. Phasers is probably a guarantee, but photon torpedoes are fun. Well, nope, it didn't work. I suppose I should have realized just how much he's still got. Let's take him completely offline, though. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Oh, hi, you're quite close to me. Okay, that worked. Alright, the enemy has been defeated. We can go green alert and maximum speed as we will now escort Mr. Diplomat to the planet. Come over here, get our transporters ready. They are a little bit dented if I'm not mistaken, but I think he'll be fine. Getting mighty close to that planet without realizing how close I was getting. Okay, 7, a little bit closer. And that's it. Energize. Okay, perfect. So the Diplomat is safely on the planet, and the enemy Dreadnought has been defeated and has a dangerous monster in the area. All in all, a good run. Let's see how much prestige that's going to be worth. $460 is not bad at all. We have taken a little bit of damage, which has me somewhat concerned, but there's a tile there that if we grab, well, we can use it to leapfrog off other things. Scouting would be safer, but a patrol is more fun. So we're going to go grab that and see what it is we have to fight. Well, there's nothing on sensors at the moment, so that's good. And everything is clear off the damage board, so damage control teams have everything under control. We are a little bit low on armor at this point, just because we've taken enough damage. But we should be fine. Put ourselves up there, and increase the speed time. Also, need to remember that forward shield reinforcement, because it is kind of important. And the final defender of the entire sector is a D5WX, a modified triple nacelle D5 that thinks it's a heavy cruiser. Let's find out exactly what sort of heavy cruiser we are dealing with here. Kind of a drone-ish cruiser, I suppose. He does have 4 missile launchers. He's backing that up with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 phaser X's. That's not a terrible armament by any stretch of the imagination. So he actually has a pretty significant amount of firepower that he can throw our way. So let's open this up just a little bit. He does have 4 AMDs, but if things go, that's what I was hoping for. He'd deploy the Wild Weasel. Not enough speed to satisfy me. Yes, indeed, Sprague feels the need for speed. He desires it, he craves it, even though he sits in the back. 0-10 would not enjoy it. Well, I suppose if you want to think about it, every single tick is a full 10,000 kilometers, so we're actually going blazingly fast. Oh, we actually got one through. That's pretty nice. Can I please get my gosh darn photon torpedoes on target before I get completely gutted by this guy? That's all I want, is to just utterly rip into him with photon torpedo fire. Is that so much to ask? So he is not having a very good day, so far. And we will get that fixed, and I suppose the AMD, just to be thorough. Oh, we're starting to get a cascade failure on this one. So he's not having a good day at all. I think another cluster of missiles might actually take him out. Oh, nope, I'll take it back. He is fully in control of all of the space around him. I take it back again, he's not quite fully in control of all the space around him. But yeah, the amount of damage these Phaser X's can deal to even a dreadnought like us is pretty absurd. Although, the more damage that we can just continue to plink through that open shield, eventually he's just going to break. We're going to plow the mine. Let's just go right on into it. How much forward shield reinforcement I got? Get a little bit more. Okay, we only took a little bit of damage and actually hurt him quite badly. More phasers. There goes another shield. Distance of 1.6. We are absolutely in photon torpedo range. So we're going to open fire with those as soon as we can. There we go. More cascade failure, and there he goes. So completely annihilated. No trouble whatsoever. Actually, no, I take that back. A properly handled D5WX would probably be able to take us on. Because it's got the nimbleness and the maneuverability. Klingon ships already are quite maneuverable. And so you start throwing them into a situation where they can use that to their fullest extent, and they are devastating. Alright, so we've captured the tile, which gives us both a brand new station as well as direct access to 511. And I don't actually want to fight this battle yet, but hey, we're here, so we may as well do the planetary assault. But we are going to head back because we want to look to see if there's any battleships around. Because the battleship is very useful for sieging out planets. Currently squaring off against a heavy cruiser. We're being escorted by the Paladin-class dreadnought HMS Gallant. And let's, ooh, I think we have, yeah, we have an AMD that's busted, which is a bit unfortunate. Let's get that patched up. I didn't come into battle to have broken ships. I came into battle to break ships. Oh, what kind of ship? It's an E7. Oh, you are, yeah, we got the light cruiser design. Oh, God, you are ugly. So this is the quality of the original game before mods. And then this is the quality of the game after mods. So there is a little bit of a difference. Just a little bit. Actually, we're trying to turn to show off the gorgeous lines of this ship. Yeah, I know, Raider. It's kind of ugly. It desperately needs a new model. To be fair, this one could use a bit of a cleanup itself, but at least the heart is there. Really, the best looking ship in this game is gotta be the Constitution, followed by the other Constitution and the Miranda, and I suppose... Oh, wow, you're really getting there. Probably should kick up the speed, shouldn't we? We are actually supposed to be involved. The Miranda and the one other one. The Excelsior. Those are the best looking ones in the game. Which isn't to say the Kirov isn't lovely, but there was some special attention paid to those ships. Did you look at that sort of defense fire that he was able to just output? Oh good! Already taken care of. Didn't even need to get involved. Lovely. So now we can just bombard a planet. Photon torpedoes to proximity mode. And really, we're just going to go right on in. You are a PLPH, are you not? Yeah, unfortunately, we are actually going to have to siege out the planet. So that's going to take a little while. Zoom it a little bit. Like a little bit more of an intimate encounter. Also makes me feel like I'm going a little bit faster. So that helps out some. How much power do I have? Steel from the shield budget. Photon torpedoes select. And our range on a photon torpedo is of 55. So once we get into range, we can just start continually plinking away. Hey, we're here. A couple of hits. It's going to take a while to actually get through. Although he could do it much faster, just purely because of his ability to launch hellbores at people, which is completely and totally broken. That's not true, but it is kind of ridiculous. Wait a second, you have a range of 20 on a fusion cannon? Really? Just really? Note to self, go back in and fix the fusion. Oh crap, we are too close. We are very much too close. We have 36 power in the forward shield. Let's see, fusion cannon is, what's the maximum range? The fusion beam is 24, really? You can shoot a fusion cannon out to a range of a 24. That is more than a little ridiculous. But yeah, Tar has mentioned, and I intend to do it at some point, is to fix the fusion cannons by doing the same thing to the fusion cannons that they did to the Phaser 3s. For those of you who don't know, in the base game, the Phaser 3 actually has pretty considerable range. Like, ridiculously considerable for its size, based on how much damage it does. It can shoot out to a range of 15. In this game, though, they've reduced the range of the Phaser 3. It can't shoot beyond a range of 2.99, because that makes the weapon actually useful. Reverse, there's no reverse gear. You can't do that. That's a Starfleet Command 3 thing, and the less we talk about that, the better. So we've got to... And besides, the forward shield is actually holding up surprisingly well. I'm actually quite shocked that it's not broken. How long until we're through? Oh, God, this is going to take a week. Actually, no, I think he's through already. Yeah, he's through. But yeah, they forgot to include reverse thrusters on Federation starships. Really, any starships that I know of. Not that that's the most terrible thing in the world. It requires you to think tactically and intelligently. Oh, that was nearly a perfect photon torpedo barrage. You are still in proxy? Yep. Wow, actually, this shield is a bit of a problem. The maximum effective range-ish is a range of about 8. So if you're firing from beyond that, don't bother with normal photon torpedoes, use proximities instead. Because accuracy becomes the more important thing. I think the reverse was the best thing about the game. No! Reverse is weak. Reverse is boring. Reverse is for people who don't want to think intelligently about a situation. That's not true, but still. Eventually we will crunch this. We could try and get in a little bit closer, but I'm not quite feeling the defense. Yeah, this is going to take a while. Actually, what it's going to take is it's going to require him to be in a different location so that we can actually, you know, shoot through without having to worry about having all the defense in the same spot. It's not going to work, but I want to give it a shot just to make me feel better. Yeah. Oh, I thought for a second he had to grab it. Jet engines can't reverse. You see, Sprogue, and you should know this, the Vigan can reverse. So can the Tornado. So yes, some jet engines can reverse. In fact, most commercial jet engines also have thrust reversers so that they can back up. Tomcat can't reverse. It has no capability to do that whatsoever. Tomcat also doesn't have an APU or any real batteries. That entire jet keeps moving only if the engines are spooling. Which does make it a little less field capable than some things like F-16s, which can start up on their own. Can you, like, finish beating your way through his shields, man? That'd be appreciated. The only plane that matters. Well, the Tornado does as well. I'm trying to think of other aircraft that have, well, other military aircraft that have reverse engine or reversing thrust on their things. I suppose the Harrier could do it. Tomcat has one direction forward fast. Yes, indeed. It's a great ball of fire just whipping through the atmosphere. Lobbing other balls of fire. Oh my god, you're making this life so much more difficult. Paladin class Dreadnought, you can do this better. Well, as soon as your computer's ready, Sprog, I will try and set up some free time and we will play. And we can even stream it if you want. Can you fly Iranians? Yes and no at the moment. So, no, because the only thing is the F-14B at the moment, which the Iranians don't have. But, yes, it is planned to have the F-14A, which the Iranians do fly. No, that's not going to be in Farsi, but they're talking about having a version that doesn't have the TCS, which is the little television camera in the front of the plane. And so, sort of, will be the final answer. Right now, you can fly with an Iranian skin if you want, but it's not in there yet. But alley cats are certainly on the list of Red 4 for a lot of major servers. They will do that mainly to balance out the fact that the Tomcat is basically undisputedly the best aircraft in game at the moment. Actually, no, I can't say undisputedly because there's a lot of Hornet pilots who would get very huffy about that. They're wrong, but they would get very huffy about that. So at the moment, though, we only have the F-14B, but the F-14A is planned for anybody who bought the F-14B. So there's that fun. The difference between the two primarily is in the engines. The F-14Bs have F-110s, General Electrics, and the F-14As have TF-30s. Show this on stream. Show what on stream? And the TF-30s are incredibly prone to, well, not incredibly prone, but they are prone to flameouts. If you watch Top Gun, that's what happened, because they're flying F-14As. And the F-14Bs fixed that problem and also gave them more power. Like a significant amount of power at low altitude. So, F-14B, much better than the F-14A. F-14D, much better than both of those, but we're probably not going to get that. The developer, Heatblur, has said that they would love to do one, they just don't have enough information on it. There's just too much they don't have access to at the moment. So for now, we're going to have to be very much content, and I am, with our F-14Bs. Although, with that said, the F-14B is not my... Was I? No, I was never in the Air Force. I wanted to join the Air Force, and then my vision did not cooperate, and then my back did not cooperate, but I do adore aircraft, so I have some knowledge. Not an exhaustive or extensive library, but I have some. Yeah, the aircraft in DCS that I'm really looking forward. Link in the Discord if this doesn't work. I don't have my Discord up at the moment. And unfortunately, in order to record this game, I can't set OBS to only record the game. Jesus, it's taking forever. It's probably because he's sitting right on top of me. What was my first ever flight sim? Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think that was everybody's first flight sim. And then, let's see, Jane's Apache Longbow was another one. The Strike Fighter series was another one. Oh, wait, no. My very maybe. I'm not sure if Microsoft Flight Simulator was the first one, but there was one, F-11 7A Nighthawk. And I remember playing that a lot. F-16, Falcon, the Falcon games. I used to play, like, about 2 years ago, I used to play Falcon BMS a lot. Like, right around when 4.33 came out. I played that all the time. Alright, we're just gonna start throwing down as much fire as we can, as quickly as we can, and maybe we'll do something about it. Does Wing Commander count? It's not really a flight sim, but it is a fun game. Sprog is hardcore. Sprog, I don't think your link worked, but what are you hardcore about? Actually, if somebody can link the Discord, IL2 Sturmfek. Yeah, if somebody wants to link an invite to the Discord, I think you guys can do that. If not, I will have to actually get through and unfortunately have to wreck my screen a little bit in order to make things happen. But yeah, if someone wants to post a link to the Discord just in case anybody wants to join it. We're a small, tiny little community. Dear God, this is 10 minutes of just constant bombardment, because we didn't even get involved in the first battle. Although, if you look at that, he managed to knock out the shuttle bay. We are working our way through, clearly. How much shield do you got? Oh, good, we are actually cutting through the shield now. First played MS Flight Sim 1 on the Mac SE. The first one was the Lucy Battle of Britain. Yeah, the big aircraft for me that I'm looking forward to in BMS is not the F-14. It is actually the F-4 Phantom. I adore that aircraft. Wonder how much armor the planet has? Probably a lot. I could actually look that up at one point. In fact, they're not actually that hard to find in the ship list because all the planets have different names now. So I could actually look that up. But there would be a giant spreadsheet in front of the screen and that would be not all that interesting. No, I don't think it works right. Yeah, I don't think links work on the streams. I'm not sure why. Probably for the best, honestly. But... oh, they tried linking the Discord. Oh, yeah. Good point. I think I'm the only one who's allowed to link that. Okay, let's suffer through it. Discord, start. Hopefully I can keep it from showing up on the front screen. Can't guarantee anything, but I can hope. And you did pop up on the side, which is lovely. Okay. But that does block my ability to read the chat, so... oh, is that the kill him link? With the angry Rio? Oh, come on, you gotta be almost dead. Not quite, apparently. He is working on it. No, the hug it break, okay. So let's quickly create a temporary invite. I probably should put up a permanent invite, but... if you want to join the Discord, that's it in the chat right now. Like I said, tiny community. We're not super active about it, but it is an area where you can get in contact with me if you feel the need to ask questions or anything. I was a big fan of flight sims, felt it was too hard. A lot of people think flight sims are hard, and I gotta tell them, they're not. Just relax, have a couple of friends with you as you try it, and you will do fine, trust me. Ace combat counts. I mean, it's not like a super hardcore flight sim, but it counts. Let's be fair to everybody here. Okay, we got in nice and close. I'm gonna keep trying to get in closer, because I think, yeah, his defenses are almost down at this point. So we should... ooh, did that get through? I think we're through finally. Okay, lovely. Photon torpedoes can be set to normal mode now, so we'll be doing... oh, no, we didn't get through. Hawks? Oh, see, now you're starting to get to the limits of what you can really consider a flight sim. God, Hawks was such a weird game. I can't judge negatively too many people, but Hawks was an interesting outing. Ace Combat 2 was your favorite? My favorite is still 0. Just, I loved Ace Combat 0. There was just too much fun to be had in that game. Playing as Cypher, and it does have the best music of the entire series. Someone once said that 4 made you feel like the most badass, 5 had the best stories, 0 had the best music, and 6 was the best retelling of 4. Okay, we've basically knocked out every single thing that he's got left on that planet, and he's got 7 Marines, 6 Marines, so we're about to have this planet taken. Was never the best, just like the flag, get used to it, ends up taking a 0 beam over the people. Okay, finally took the planet. Oh, that was some effort. See, this is why we need a battleship, because it's got 2 more photon torpedoes, and that might be able to work a little bit better. I liked 6 a lot. I thought 6 was pretty good. I mean, aside from the dance with the angels girl, but aside from that, as long as you were focusing on the pilots, that was a lot of fun. Although it was quite the sad story. Although if you think about it, 0 was also an incredibly sad story. Because, like, all of the interviews with the former ace pilots that you defeat, it's like, every single one of them basically had their lives ruined. Like, they used to be fighter pilots, and now they are not. Let's see, Empire Defense at 24, so actually not going to be all that difficult to take that planet. Lovely. Hi, shipyard. I happen to be in the market for a battleship if you happen to have one. BBX to be precise. Not currently available, although there is a guided dreadnought for 6,000 if we are so inclined, which, by the way, we are not. Could get the Excelsior X refit, actually. We're not going to do that because that would be one heck of a step backwards. Could also get the new drone cruiser with the Merva upgrade. The story of Top Gun, maybe? Wait, what? Yeah. So, yeah, tempting. Early game, that's a lot of fun. Pixie was it was hard to beat, so... apparently, he's super easy if you know what you're doing, but I had a hard time with him, too. That... Excelsior class is, I wouldn't call it so hot. I think the Enterprise B is better. Is the model in this good? Yes. The model they currently have for it in this game... in Orion Pirates Plus was updated, and so it looks really good. It's not a particularly great ship, just in general, because of the way that they decided that they were going to implement it in-game, which took 2 photon torpedoes and made them shoot backwards for some unknown reason, and took away the missile launchers, which also some unknown reason. I would never really want to put myself inside an Excelsior, but the model does look good. Presby was awesome looking. Apparently, we are in the minority for thinking that. Because I've looked around and apparently most fans think the Enterprise B looked ugly. But I didn't think that at all. I thought the Enterprise B filled out the design of the Excelsior a little bit, made it look much nicer. One of my plans for when I start chopping models up and moving them around is I'm going to be putting the Enterprise B in for the Excelsior's X refit, because it just makes too much sense not to do that. So there's a heavy cruiser here, and we know there's something else off over. Oh, there he is. He's a frigate, little tiny frigate. What kind of frigate are you? You're an E3R. I don't think you have missile launchers, but you might. They're entitled to their wrong opinion. Yes, indeed. That's the perfect way of looking at things. And give ourselves a little bit of power going on here. Forward shields. Protect us from all the damages. All the destruction. Excelsior's OP, going toe-to-toe with the Defiant. Okay, 2 things. 1, that's not this game. 2, that was not an Excelsior. That was a Lakota refit. So completely modernized. And 3, that's not how it comes off in this game. Oh, the Lakotas were irritating. They were a plot hole, and I know why they exist. They existed for techno. It was the Lakota, wasn't it? Fairly certain it was the Lakota. Can you change the ship stats as well? Absolutely. It's a massive spreadsheet. It's like an 8,600 line spreadsheet. There he goes. He's dead. Although he may have bought his friend enough time. Let's try and buy ourselves enough time to prepare ourselves for whatever's happening about next. So if he can't handle all of that... See, Lauderdale knows it. It's Lakotas. With an L. Not Dakotas. But Dakota is not there. I figured you would do that because you're a D7 and all D7s got the weapons refit. So, they existed so they could use that amazing looking ship. They existed so they didn't have to remake more models. That was the reason. I don't know why they happen to have an Excelsior sitting around, but come on, they should have used the New Orleans. Can you imagine the New Orleans class flying through? Now that's a ship I want to see more of in Starfleet. But no, we only get to see the one kit bash from an odd angle. New Orleans were awesome. I'm trying to time this properly so my photon torpedoes are going to shot. 10 phasers and quantum torpedoes. Did she get that? Opening you up. Oh, we hit you with every single photon torpedo. That has got to not be fun. Last use of the real Excelsior model? Really? They had the real Excelsior in that? That's impressive. I thought the real Excelsior model was basically destroyed after the, after they used it for generations. Stabilize the warp core and deal with him because he has just made this a little bit more difficult on us. We'll drop a mine, make him have to worry about it. We killed his buddy in one salvo, so he's clearly not very happy with us. And I would like to shoot you with a whole bunch of phasers. There we go. And suddenly surprise you with missiles which I can't shoot because we are too close. That is unfortunate at the moment. I forget one ship in this game to be a Galaxy. But the Galaxy 1 would not fit, but 2, it's just... Ugh. I'll admit, I like the Galaxy Dreadnought. I thought the Galaxy Dreadnought was pretty cool. Okay, we've desperately got to get our stern away from this guy because he is just mauling us. Case in point. Stop shooting through my weakened shields or I'll be forced to use a high energy turn to kick your ass. Send some missiles his way to keep him running. That'll push him away. Why Starfleet can never upgrade this all the Excelsiors to look at his. I think they were, weren't they? It's just they were terrible ships. Galaxy class was a glass cannon. I don't know. I think they got a bad rap. I really think we didn't see enough of them doing cool stuff in Deep Space Nine to sort of just to even out sort of the way that they were portrayed in, what was it, Sacrifice of Angels, where we see the Destiny get destroyed? So, a bit unfortunate. You have no power here, little Mr. Sword. Oh, we got him. Lovely. Only the Lakota was upgraded. That seems like a very foolish decision. I agree. That doesn't make any sense if you're going to war against the entirety of the Dominion. It's not like quantum torpedoes are ineffective against non-Borg targets. Alright, Mr. Shipyard, we're going to have to deal with you. You're a plasma-equipped one. Starboard power uncoupling on this. He always put out. Wasn't there a design defect in the Galaxy class that made it prone to implosion? It happened to the Yamato. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What was it again? And then, whoop. The fact that the waypoint system actually works does very much amuse me. I mean, we don't ever use it, but it's there. It was the Iconian bug? Ah, okay. All stop, all weapons select. Hello? Hopefully goodbye? Unfortunately not goodbye, but the forward shield was more than strength. It's the Oh, the Odyssey, okay. Yamato got it and transmitted to the Enterprise. Which, you know, ruined everything. Missiles, go! Hey, the missiles actually got through. That should not have happened, but okay. The missiles almost never get through. Oh, we even hit him a couple of times with a photon torpedo. That's impressive. More damage to cripple most of your ship. You cannot hurt me as long as I sit still, because I have too many defenses for you to handle. Perfect. Okay, that one's dead. Next. That's the trouble with these Star Dock assault missions. You do it, and then it's just next. So Galaxy class would certainly be very interesting in this. It was a pretty good episode. The first time I watched the Yamato explode was shocking. If I'm not mistaken, somebody is doing something to make the death animations of ships look more like that. So, I may be recalling something completely off, but I seem to remember someone mentioning that. Okay, hello. Unfortunately did not kill him. Wasn't expecting it to. Federation ships generally don't seem to annihilate people like that. Takes us a little while to actually get things done. Bouncing you off my forward shield because I can, and my photon torpedoes will be ready in this round, so that'll be lovely. And you know what? I'm going to set that up as number 4, so I can just easily get to it as sort of my siege loadout that I can't penetrate you with missiles. I can just blast you with everything else that I've got. And there's that Star Dock, and on to the last one. Probably what I should have done is tried to capture them, because if I had tried to capture them, that would probably give me enough cash to afford the battleship when it comes up. Because the battleship's like 1,400. Or is it 1,200? Good night, Sprog. I will see you later. Yep, F-14 soon. Definitely. So we'll probably play on a local server if Thermos comes up, just to get him up to speed, by the way. So on to the last fleet repair dock. We shall crush and destroy it with all of our firepower. Minus the missiles, of course, because the missiles won't work. So it takes us a little while to get that done. Pull into a stop. Fire everything. Bounce you off my forward shield. What's with that face, bro? What is this alert that's going on here? New. Oh, here. Ah. He can't... Yeah, you mentioned until Sunday. Yes, I will have time before Sunday. Well, maybe less time than I thought. I had to do a couple of things there, which sort of interfered with my normal schedule to get things done during the week. I wouldn't say quite a few, but there were some. Yeah, good night, bro. I will see you later. Hopefully, upgrade soon, and I'll be able to play with you. So, I'm thinking at some point about... at some point trying to do a little bit of multiplayer stuff in this during the streams, and I'm not quite sure if anybody would be interested in that. I'm not thinking about doing a multiplayer campaign just yet, but maybe some like skirmish battles, sort of like a just fun subscriber mini tournament or something. Like nothing like the actual PvP guys. I mean, to be fair, they wouldn't be invited purely because I can't play, and I would expect this to be more of a small group thing. I mean, they're welcome to watch and give tips and advice, but if I were to do this, this would basically be just like a beginners type tournament of people who had never really played PvP. And then they could get a great laugh out of laughing at us, I assume. So I don't know if there's any interest for that. If you are interested in that, just mention it in the Discord. Too lazy to get the fonts downloaded. It's 2 files! Sub Rosa or something like that when the Doctor... Oh god, that was a terrible episode. To be fair, most of the Crusher episodes are pretty bad. I don't know why, but they just ended up not being great. And there's also quite a few Riker episodes that are pretty terrible. Let's see, who got pretty universally good episodes? Oh, we got a heavy cruiser and a heavy cruiser. Oh, we're ambushed. That's unfortunate. I got a D6 and a DWN. You are the safest target to completely blitz. So let's overload the photon torpedoes. And we'll set up our defensive setups after we get the photon torpedoes fully charged, because we need to charge forward as fast as we can. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to do this right away. Get electronic countermeasures going right away so they can charge up as soon as possible. Oh, good. Power to steel. Because I think I can beat the crap out of him before I can go after this D6. Because if I'm not mistaken, the D6 is going to be a carrier. It's using the old Tatinga model, which needs a bit of an update. Let's see, what's the one with Riker taking command of a Constellation-class starship, the Ferengi show up, and they've got that one tactical alien. I like that one. Recently got reviewed by a fairly popular Star Trek YouTube channel. There's nothing wrong with me. There must be something wrong with the universe. Nope. So we're going to come in here, and hopefully our overloaded photon torpedoes will be enough damage to break him, but I can't guarantee anything. So we're going to really have to hope that we break something important on this ship in basically one chance. Okay, so he has launched fighters. But as long as we keep ahead of him... Oh god, he's doing a speed of 29. Yeah, we're not keeping ahead of him, are we? Gotta pick up the pace a little bit. Yes, peak performance, that was it. And I kind of liked the alien guy. I thought he was actually kind of fun. It was like Kilrami or something like that was his name. Like, he was an arrogant jerk, but he had a lot of potential to be a fun, arrogant jerk. Alright, 2 fingers. 165 damage is not terrible at all. Unfortunately, he's not dead. And we didn't manage to hit any of his anti-missile defense systems. So... Oh, wow. That was not expected. Okay, lovely. Let's pull to port and get around this. Remember that one? They got a few moments of warp power. Yep, from Wesley basically cheating on the test. Okay, you're a mauler. I am instantly less scared of you. I'm still going to make this portside turn in order to bring my defenses up, but yeah. So, okay, so photon torpedoes did a pretty decent number. The 3 missile follow-up also managed to murder him. So that worked out quite nicely. So if we break you, we'll get about 500 prestige just for breaking out of this little ambush we've got going on here. Your anti-missile defense system is a single mount. So if I can cause enough damage here, I play with that. And that. Ooh, that was a good range shot. Lucky for me, you had no power left in it. We're gonna have to plow our own mine. Is that our mine? No, I think that was the other mine. So he's only got a single AMD. So we may as well get a little bit of force going down on him. Photon torpedoes are about to be ready. Well, 5 of them anyway. So let's see if we can't bring up our port side shield. And you decided to do that. Okay, so the Wild Weasel's been deployed to defend against that, which has kind of botched up our photon torpedo run. Do I have the range? Go away, attack shift. Go away. Alright, 71 damage. As we pass on through. That did knock out his shuttle bay and his AMD. So we're just going to pass on by. And once we get enough distance to actually launch missiles, we should have him. I am 90% positive. Play with that. The aliens from Conspiracy eventually became the Borg because the budget wouldn't allow for ant-like aliens. The Borg were supposed to be ants? That would have been really weird. 550 prestige is our reward. Empire defense is down to 14. Let's stop back home. Hi, we're looking for a battleship. Do you have one? Because that would be the most amount of fun we could have at the moment. Not looking like it. It's gonna take a while to get a battleship, isn't it? We're gonna run into that problem, aren't we? Get a heavy command cruiser. I think the strategy of a scene where Data is playing tactics and the guys frustrated with the counter moves. Yes, you don't have to play to win. You just have to play. And you know, if you think about it, that strategy eventually would have brought Data the victory because Data never gets tired. He can't. So eventually Kilrami would have gotten tired. So even if Kilrami didn't get frustrated and just give up, eventually he would have gotten tired and had to stop. Aw, no mission. That's unfortunate. Let's say hi to the Hydrons. Hello, Hydrons. Are we going to do a joint convoy raid on this one? Are you actually going to help us out with this? Or is it just going to be us?
Battle stations.
We brought the Inexorable, which I'm assuming is a carrier, because if it's not a carrier, oh my god, you are an incredibly undergunned ship. And, oh, okay, interesting place to begin us. Right nearby the enemy. So let's get ourselves up to speed so we can successfully engage and attack the enemy. So also we want to make sure we get the shield reinforcement going before we hit one turn passing. Never mind, he's already fired. I don't know how he was already prepared to fire, but we'll deal with things as they come. We're going to dump out a missile salvo immediately, see if we can't get him to stop. That'll give us a little bit more time, but odds are our photon torpedoes are not going to be ready by the time this is all done. So I'm actually bringing our speed down a little bit, because I kind of want to get the photon torpedoes every opportunity to actually work. Although if you're equipped like most, it's only 2. Okay, so that's not horrific. Any TNG episode left you well and truly scared? Nah. No, I was never really afraid of TNG. I can't really think of a Star Trek that ever made me scared or nervous or anything. So, Night Terrors, when one of the crew gets abducted to another dimension? Well, unless I've blocked it from my memory so that I can never have to relive that horror, I don't seem to recall it, so I'm gonna go with no. Alright, so we've mostly got him. He's mostly dead at this point. And we'll pick up the pace here. And I'd love to just bombard you a little bit more, but it looks like you're going to be incredibly irritating. So if you're going to be quite that irritating, and I understand that was your whole plan all along, was to just piss me off enough to turn around and try and kill you, we're going to demonstrate that that was a really bad plan. Because at the end of the day, you do not have the armor for what we're throwing. Okay, pull a little bit closer. And he's not going to be forced to tractor beam, but we are now under a range of 2. Hey, look what you don't have anymore. That's, yeah, all of your armor and most of your aft firing weaponry. Are you feeling cocky still? And by the way, the entire convoy is heading towards us, so we don't even really have to worry about that. And our photon torpedoes are ready, and our missiles are just about ready. Fantastic demonstration of what? Is there the one that we're getting operated on, having their arms amputated? That was a bit creepy. I'm not a fan of body horror, but I don't particularly recall Star Trek being incredibly egregious with it. Alrighty, so we have managed to deal with everybody who can actually defend themselves. You are my friend. You are an armored freighter. We're dealing with 2 armored freighters off there. Okay, so they're actually somewhat possible to get away. You know, if of course our buddy over here isn't able to take care of them. They apparently have a pretty significant anti-missile defense system. So let's just increase the speed of time, because at this point we have 1. And it is just a matter of when. So we're going to get on top of the enemy and hopefully phaserize them all and kill them. So a little bit of light phaser fire coming from the enemy, but our shields are more than capable of being able to handle everything they've got going on. Just a little bit closer. Oh, that's close enough. Apparently that's not close enough. Photon torpedoes. Still not close enough. Fascinating. Okay, he's not dead, but I think we've got him. I do have to remember they are Klingon ships, so they're a little bit tougher than your average vessel. Where's that NEC going? Wow, he's still wasting all his time back there. Crew went to the holodeck and described their experiences and recreated the room they were stuck in. I'm just afraid I don't remember the episode at all. Yep, that stopped you. Okay, let's get the power going on here. We're gonna just sprint after and make sure that we deal with the entirety of the group. Hi, buddy. I'm just gonna pass by you and, well, probably murder you. Oh, your point defense system shut off. That's cute. And your speed shut off as well. You're dead. And you're dead. Okay, so we've got the 2 leaders in the convoy, so that's not a concern anymore. We are going to slow down to see if we can't protect our forward shield and not take too much damage. Looks like he finally managed to take care of his target. And phasers. Got him. Alright, that's a successful combo raid, and I think that's going to actually connect us to Hydran territory. So we are moving quite happily there. Alright. Astounding victory, 282 prestige. A chair with scissors attached to arm. Ouch. Oh, we didn't manage to take the tile, unfortunately. But I do kind of want to go home just to test to see if we managed to get more stuff. Planetary assault! Probably was a mistake, but I wanted to go for it. Maybe the Hydrans will help out. It's always nice when they do. An RNX, the Celerity. There's another PLPH, but we should be able to take it. So let us set up our defenses once again. And you know what? I think we're going to overload this time. We're going to see if we can't just break them. He is a D7, right? Yeah, he's a D7D, so I believe that's a drone D7. Is that a probe? Oh, second one. That might make life a little bit more difficult than I want it to be. 4 missiles, I suppose, could be considered a drone cruiser. Not a very big one. Oh, let's not forget the forward shield. Very important. Need to have all the defenses going on. Otherwise, we're just going to get murdered. Not having a shield reinforcement is a pretty significant oversight. Okay, so the Solarity's already launched his fighters. And a pretty significant group there. That should be able to get through and break a lot of things. Oh wait, no, it's only 6, isn't it? Never mind, they're all going to die. So, I'm not really in a position to quite help because I'm using overloaded photon torpedoes. Which means in order to hit him, I've got to be a little bit closer than usual. Well, maybe the missile batteries have been run dry, or the AMDs have been run dry. I doubt it, but it's possible. They have been. Interesting, okay. Start to slow down, because we've got a really nice shot here. And we've got everything that's going to break them. That's the plan anyway. Photon torpedoes first. So wait for the attack shift to go away. He's gone. And now phasers. Hey, we did get him in one pass. Lovely. Okay, let's increase speed and start to pull away to starboard. Let's go back down to normal photon torpedoes. Thought our heroes could be abducted in their sleep was supposed to... Most unsettling. We should save this for Halloween. Come up with something interesting to do on it. Because apparently this was a fantastic episode that I'm just not remembering. Ugh. Okay, so you are packing a grand total of 6 disruptors, which is 2 more than your your D7 counterparts, while still holding the D7 design. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to do something about that. Notably, eat this. This will cause him to break. Stop, I'm positive. Yeah, there it goes. An immediate stop. And to think that Tar wants to make Wild Weasels even more effective. I fear what his plans are. I truly do. I mean, I assume they're going to be done quite well, as he does most things, but still, I don't quite want to have to worry about it. So prepare for the murder and the death as soon as the photon torpedoes are ready to go. In fact, photon torpedoes first. Because again, that allows us to have enough power in our forward shields so that we don't kill ourselves with our own splashback damage. And then we'll dump more missiles on him because this is a point-blank range shot. He's not going to have much to work with, and he's not traveling all that fast yet. And he's forced to hold on to 4 of them. Lovely. A little bit of snap damage from our phasers. So he's got 4 points of power invested in just holding on to those missiles. Unfortunately, we can't do a whole heck of a lot about it at this moment. Look at where the crew devolves. I remember that one. I do remember that one. And Worf is like this big angry beast. And doesn't he try and like abduct Troy or something? That was a weird one. Oh, Worf, you did not get nearly as much credit as you deserved until Deep Space Nine. Which, don't get me wrong, there were a couple of good TNG Worf episodes, but DS9 really fleshed out the character. Alright, so Conqueror is basically stuck at this point. Barclay was a spider. Yeah, that sounds like Barclay. Yeah, I remember this episode somewhat. So down, photon torpedoes as soon as you range. There we go. Oh, stealing my kill on that one, Celerity, eh? Okay, let's go kill the planet. This is not going to be particularly easy because it is a PLPH, and our friend this time is not packing a whole bunch of Hellbores to help out. So we're going to have to get close, and we're going to have to shoot a lot. And we've run out of missiles, which is a bit unfortunate. So, photon torpedoes to proximity. We're going to have to get relatively close to actually bust through everything. And there is the planet. Passing into range now. That was pretty decent accuracy there, actually. We're going to try and pull away from him, so we're not both on the same side of the planet, as that is preferable. If I have to go all the way around the planet to avoid him, I still think he'd suddenly show up next to me. Because at this point, all I want to do is I want to spread out the shield reinforcement. And in order to do that, I need to make sure that he's not near me. This is the one time that I do not want the AI actually supporting me. I want them far, far away from me so the shield reinforcement gets split. Because then, and only then, will my 6 photon torpedoes actually be able to do something. A bit more blinking, making him have to think about it. Surprisingly enough, he's not putting any power into his electronic countermeasure at the moment. I'm not complaining because that makes my life a heck of a lot easier, but it is something worth noting. We're just going to stay slightly away from him. I'm trying to get around to this shield because I figure it's the furthest one away, and so he'll be less likely to come and try and support me. Once we get there, then we can start dishing out all the damage. Oh, that's what I was a little bit worried about. But I think we can manage it. I really, really do. So right on the edge, and let's come to a stop. Come to an all stop. Go up speed of 1. How much power are we currently seeing on? I want to get just a little bit closer. I want to get to a distance of 10, because that'll allow me to actually scan the shield. Hi, there's the shield. Okay, so the plan will be to basically nuke him with all of my phasers and photon torpedoes, and I'm wondering how much power I'm going to have after this. Ugh, this is going to take a while, isn't it? Can't follow up with missiles as I do not have any. Oh, we've already weakened this shield pretty nicely, actually. Alright, so we're just going to keep the fire up, because it does look like we're on a corner piece, and so we're spreading out the damage. Yeah, we are. Okay, that's going to work. Yeah, it is a pretty strong shield. It's so strong that it's stretching almost 10 pips away from the planet. Okay, this shield is almost down. So just a little bit more, because apparently we are in the area that considers it for a corner piece. So we can basically bombard multiple locations. And we are starting to bash down this shield too. So it went from triple greens to being the lowest it went to, down to less than that. So that's definitely a positive. Just gotta keep the shields down and keep the work going. You know what? I'm gonna be a little bit aggressive. Okay, probably shouldn't have done that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull into a range of 8. Because if I'm within a range of 8, my photon torpedoes are 50% accurate, and that should be good enough to penetrate the shield. Okay, that's our range of 8 right there. Photon torpedoes, set them to normal mode. And we got a couple of hits, but nothing quite good enough to punch through. But we got it down to its base level. If I can keep the fire going on it enough, I might be able to even hold it back. I'm kind of surprised that he's not shooting at us a little bit more often. Okay, our next photon torpedo strike is going to have to be... actually, no, we're going to have to get this thing off the chain. There we go. Okay, we're through. So we've managed to knock down the shields, which now means we get to bombard with everything we've got. Is that a probe? How are we doing? Yeah, he's basically not dented at all. But on the bright side, we're through, and that's the most important thing at the moment. I'm partially tempted to start launching shuttles to have them attempt to help blast the planet. Because the shuttles still have a Phaser 3 on board, which can be a little bit helpful. I mean, generally not. I have occasionally toyed with the idea of dropping a shuttle and tractor beaming it to use it as sort of like an additional Phaser 3. That's a point defense system. But at the end of the day, it's probably just never going to be worth it. Alright, so how are we doing, Mr. Planet? It's not doing great. We're actually stunning a lot of systems offline. How many Marines has he got? Because that's another great barometer to figure out how well the planet is doing. 24 of 30, so we're still in the early skirmishing phases of this. But eventually, he's not going to have anything left. Wouldn't it get shot down? If they target it. But you got to remember that the only way that they'll target it is if they're within a range of 5, and if you're using a shuttle as sort of like a last-ditch point defense system, then you're probably skirmishing at ultra-long ranges. I mean, their AMDs will shoot at it immediately, but if you're fighting Lyrans, they don't have an AMD anyway. Okay, doing a lot of damage to this planet already. Let's get a little bit closer. Let's start risking even more, even though his phaser force could probably rip through our shields in basically no effort at all. But the closer we can get, the more damage we can do, the more accurate we'll be. And that'll push the planet further and further down the track of being vulnerable to being captured. And really, I'm just astonished he's not shooting more. So we've knocked out at least one phaser foresight. Now, maybe the only one guarding that side, but I doubt it. Because I am still looking at this one up here. It's got two mounts that are not shooting us. Unless we've busted up power generation super bad. Okay, we're basically at point blank range with this planet. So we're going to stop right here. Just to make sure that we don't drift within range of like 16 phaser 3s. Which, you know, could potentially be there. And follow up. There we go. Ooh, we're down to 6. So another 4 more Marines out, and then we can finally capture this thing. That'll put it down to about 12, I believe, on the capture track. Which would be quite nice. Oh, 2. Or 3. So we're 1 away. Come on, give me my weapon systems enough power in order to take out that last guy. There we go. Go, Marines. Finally. Jeez. That took a while. Federation sieges always take a while. I wonder if we could tractor a suicide shuttle into an opponent, or maybe have one. I'd imagine so. I mean, as long as he doesn't have an AMD or a phaser 3 set to point defense, that might work. Give it a shot sometime. Oh, he still has a phaser 4 and he's shooting at us. Which, you know, is a little bit unfortunate. Luckily, we were just able to capture the last of the planet. It is now ours. So that'll be, what, 465? 470? 470. So 470 prestige is my prediction. What's the result? 495. Ah, I was wrong on both times. So Empire Defense is down to 9. Quite vulnerable at this point. Hi, shipyard, looking for a battleship. BBX. BB lowercase x. I was rated 5th most best battleship in the galaxy, if you didn't know. Quite a nice design. Just didn't have enough tricks up its sleeve in order to climb any higher on that list. Although its prodigious anti-missile defense systems was a factor. One of the things that pushed the Marak so far down. Me of all people, placing the Marak at number 6. Who would have thought that? Please, 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 just be a normal PL. I will not mind fighting enemy battleships. Just give me a standard PL with no defenses. What are we dealing with? Of course, BLPH-14. It's only a light cruiser, and we brought an LBX, who does at least have Hellbores, so that'll help out a little bit. He'll be slightly more effective in battle. But we do know that we can kill this guy in basically 1 round of shooting, so overload all weapon systems, increase the speed of time, forward shield reinforcement, how you please, at full power, and the electronic countermeasure system, 204, and a 2. Instead of probe. Yeah, that's your buddy. I knew he was out there. D7 lowercase x. And that locked onto the probe, so we didn't get any actual information, but we shouldn't have too much trouble. No, it's not a bird of prey. It is, in fact, the F5 type frigate, which is pretty cool in its own right. Okay, kick up a little bit more speed, because we do actually need to get there, hopefully before all things break. And he's traveling at quite a swift speed on... Oh, that is just evil, the amount of point defense he's carrying. You know, if you keep running away, you're going to be too far away for me to kill you when your buddy arrives. Okay. Photon torpedoes first to prevent the splash damage. And then the phaser for the follow-up. And then a missile because you basically brake-turned there. And I think I have a small opportunity to hurt you with him. Come on. Missiles, go! Oh, that's photon torpedoes. Missiles, go! I think that'll get through his defenses, if he doesn't have a shuttle bay. Okay, lovely. Alright, so we took out him without too much trouble. And the Gatling phasers are already getting involved. Let's turn, because our forward shield is broken. Which is not a great place to be in when you consider we have to bomb a planet coming up soon. And we will need to face people. Stop firing the fusion cannons. Unfortunately, the Hydrons didn't get the message. And they very much think that those fusion cannons are sniping weapons. Like I said, the current plan will be to turn them into basically weapons with a range of no greater than 4. Maybe I should keep it at 8. Just in case. But as long as they're not shooting at a range of 15, I'll be happy. And you did not emergency stop, which is unfortunate, because I wanted you to emergency stop so I could kill you. Alright, so it looks like he's trying to bomb me as well. Which is not exactly a healthy place for me to be at this point, it seems. Like, seriously, dude, I'm right here. Stop blowing me up. I know you want to be extra eager in bombarding the enemy, but you really shouldn't be. Huh, half of my photon torpedoes have restocked themselves. That's pretty amusing, actually. So if we keep coming around, we should get a decent... Oh, we may even actually complete this turn on his stern. That would be lovely. Never mind, don't even gotta bother. Okay, planet. You, me, we're about to fight. And we're gonna win. Photon torpedoes to proximity. Yes, it takes away a ton of power. Like, away from that we just spent on overloading them, but still. Worth it. And also we want to pull away from our buddy, because our buddy will just make life difficult on us. So if we can actually get ourselves set up on 2 shields again, that might actually be the best way to go. As long as he's not protecting both of them. So at this range, we don't even... Now we know they have shields. We got a hit. It's not the best thing ever, but it's a little bit of skirmishing damage. The fun thing about a photon torpedo is it doesn't matter if we hit them from a range of 55 or from a range of 2. It's going to do the same amount of damage. Actually, that's not true. A range of 55 or a range of 8. Any closer than that, the photon torpedo won't... the proximity photon torpedo won't fire. Because it needs to arm itself. We are through already! Holy crap. Fire everything. Just keep the fire going. 4, select. I didn't expect to be just right on through, so that'll help out a lot. This does make us a little bit vulnerable, for obvious reasons, because we're trying to get in close to continue the bombardment. But that should not have happened. He was too focused on the wrong target, it seems. Get me within a range of 10. Get me within a range of 8. Let's... Ooh, stop. We're stopping here. No closer shall we go. We're gonna have to rely on our defense of 20. Which I think is a bit light. Yeah, it's definitely a bit light. Okay, phasers are offline at this point. We're only firing photon torpedoes at this point. Any closer and we're dead. May as well dump out a couple of missiles just to see what we can get done here. He had to hold on to 4 of them, so that's pretty good. But I don't dare fire my phasers at this point, because it'll bring our defenses at too low a level to actually handle the amount of incoming fire. As much as I'd love to. Fire more missiles! Keep the pressure on. We shouldn't have done that. Well, whatever. So he's holding on to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them now. Unfortunately, I can only control 6, which makes life a little bit more difficult than it should be. We've managed to knock out a pretty decent number of his Phaser 3 mounts, so that can help a little bit. Let's lob this at the enemy. That way we can just get a little bit more pressure going on here. Ah, there we go. Okay, perfect. So all the missiles can now just continually fire at him, because we are through his missile shield. So just keep bombarding him. That'll speed things up pretty considerably. This has been one of the best Federation planetary assaults we've ever done. It's fast, it's quick, it's nimble. We've already knocked it down to 2. We didn't even get within transporter range. Just gonna keep getting in there nice and close. Because I think we got him. Just gotta get within transporter range, we'll send over our Marines, and that'll be a planet taken. In record time for the Federation. There we go. Please don't shoot me. Alright, lovely. I think... Nope, the planetary defenses are still intact. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set all planetary or shield defenses to the stern of the ship while we travel away from it. That way we don't take any damage. Perfect. Alright, that worked out quite nicely. The long-range photon torpedoes were able to just blitz through his shields. We were able to keep the follow-up going until we got in there. And that'll be another 495 prestige and a tile neutralized. Come back home. Quick check. Hey, anybody got a battleship? If the answer is no, then we're just going to go right back out there. We're having the opposite problem now. We've run into a battleship carrier. Which I don't want, because the Federation battleship carrier sacrifices like 8 missile launchers. Or 6 missile launchers, and that's just too much of an amount of firepower to sacrifice in order to get a couple more fighters. Attempting, kind of, not really. I mean, the sacrifice of the missile launchers and the photon torpedo launcher is pretty rough. The difference between a Monarch battleship carrier and a Federation battleship carrier, between their normal counterparts, is really significant. Like, kind of a stupid amount of a difference. So, while a Monarch-class battleship carrier is an automatic, yes, please, I will take this without question, the Federation difference, not so much. Also, you don't get as many fighters. The normal Federation battleship is 4 fighters versus 12, so you do get 8 more, but you're not bringing 20 fighters to the fight, which, you know, 20 fighters is a fairly significant difference from 8. Let's overload the photon torpedoes, because we're going to get in nice and close and have a good time. Full speed time. Because we still need to accelerate. Get ourselves up to speed. Once our heavy photon torpedoes once our photon torpedoes are fully overloaded, we should have a pretty devastating broadside to fire at the enemy. Okay, more power to us so we can get quite quick here. We should be on them before they realize that they can stop us. And slow down the speed of time, slow down the speed of the ship, because we do need a forward shield to protect us from the splashback of our own photon torpedoes. The Sword of Kalis. Oh, that was the wrong one. Oh well, it worked. 136. Fire the missiles. Fire the missiles. There we go. Unfortunately, his automated point defense systems are working perfectly fine. Although we got through, so apparently they are not working perfectly fine. And we've managed to knock out a pretty considerable amount of their ship systems already. And by pretty considerable, we have to remember that the E-series of heavy cruisers is pretty disappointing. I mean, look at it. It's got, what, 2 disruptors? 4 disruptors, because it's got the 2 on the top mount. And then a fairly significant anti-missile defense setup, 4 of them. But it only backs that up with 1, 2, 3, 4 phaser X's? On a heavy cruiser, that's just pathetic. We'll take care of that. If the universe doesn't destroy the ship, then that will. We probably should have checked it for additional supplies, but at the end of the day it was 50. Or 90. 90 prestige is not worth the bother at this point. Because we're sitting at 14,000, and we're waiting for our battleship carrier to come along. So 264, tile taken, it is ours, the Klingons are in disarray. And now we can just continue to pressure on. Convoy raid? Sure, let's take a convoy raid. With any luck, this will be our last trip in our heavy dreadnought before we move to the battleship carrier. Hello, you are very close to me. That is unfortunate. Forward shield, reinforce, full power, electronic countermeasure. That's the tractor beam, transporter. Alright, so we're not being escorted by anybody today, but we are squaring off against yeah, an alphabet soup destroyer. Alphabet soup carrier, actually. Not quite the full alphabet soup, but it is the HF-5, and those are the heavy war destroyers. I think we open fire immediately with the missile launchers, just to sort of get him to stop. Stop in the name of antimatter. And that'll get him under control. In the meantime, we can actually get our speed up. Oh, we can considerably get our speed up. I don't anticipate this being a particular problem. We should be able to basically just blitz through him on the first run, gut most of his ship systems, and then turn back around and wipe the rest of him out. I take that back. He's got friends. He's got little friends that are going to prove to be incredibly difficult. Point defense system engaged. Point defense system has not finished engaging, but they're working on it, and the photon torpedoes are not yet charged, which is a bad thing. But insufferable. Well, that's one description for you. I wasn't going to say it, but apparently you did. So he was able to avoid them with a wild weasel. We're going to leave him a little present. And we're going to pull away. We do have a couple of photon torpedoes that are ready to go, but the odds of us getting on target ever again are not particularly great. Because at the end of the day, he's a light cruiser / destroyer, and we are a dreadnought. He kind of wins that maneuverability fight. And if we wanted to try and force the issue, our high energy turn is only a 60% chance of happening. Okay, he managed to eat that. More missiles. Almost ready with the missiles. Photon torpedoes, if you do not mind. Ooh, you both managed to miss. That's incredibly disappointing. More phasers. We want to deal as much damage as we can to him. Able to shoot down most of his stuff, so not too much of a worry there. And we've got a triplet mount coming into range now. Are these? No, they're triples. Not quite sure why they're only firing 2 then. But we've managed to weaken him pretty considerably, although our forward shield is quite badly damaged. Port side phasers really getting involved there, stunning most of the ship systems at this point. And he's turning back into us again. Not quite sure that's your best plan, buddy. Although he probably has enough defenses in order to handle all of that. But does he have enough defense in order to handle my photon torpedoes? He does, but that worked out pretty nicely on him. I forgot to turn that on. That's unfortunate. Okay, so we took a little bit of a nasty hit there because of his surprise me missile salvo. But I think we've got him mostly on the ropes at this point. There we go. And the great advantage of this spawn position for this mission is the fact that the convoy was coming right towards us. So it's easy to just pick up the convoy after having wiped out their escort. We do, of course, want to run ahead for this guy and this guy, because they are one ahead and he's an armored cruiser. Are you the armored cruiser in the group? No, there is actually a former frigate that is currently being used as an armored merchant ship. Show me my power. Do I quite need that? Not quite, but it's going to be fine. Maximum speed of time. We'll steal from the power budget a little bit more after we're fully charged. And there we go. Charging up even more. I want that forward shield not to collapse, which is one of the reasons why we're doing this. So you, fortunately for us, do not actually have missiles or any other sorts of heavy weapons. So we should be able to do quite the number on you. Photon torpedoes, engage. Most of him open. Phasers. Good follow-up. Okay, armored cruiser's been defeated. And then we've got the K5 transport, but I think we can take him as we come back around. I would launch missiles, but we're out of them. Slow down the ship because we need the power. We need the power to charge the ship, which allows us to kill the enemies, and then, well, it all works in a beautiful cycle of life. Or death, as this may be. Hopefully we can get within range to use our phasers properly on this one. We got 16 points of power on the forward shield. We don't quite need that. There we go, phasers. One pass. Alright, this F5 may end up being a little bit more difficult. Fortunately for us, we did bring photon torpedoes to this fight. And yeah, that was a pretty nice hit on him. He's down to a speed of 4, and he did actually knock out one of our shields, which was unfortunate because it also killed one of our photon torpedoes, a phaser 3, and that AMD once again. Apparently it is prone to breakdown. But the transport F-type frigate has been destroyed. So now we're just down to an FSPH and an FLPH. 2 light freighters, which shouldn't be all that difficult to kill. Assuming, of course, we're not right on top of the edge of the map. No, we're good. So we're just going to cruise up nice and easy behind them. Get a little bit more aggression in there because we're starting to get to the edge of the map. Hi, we need you to stop. 3, 2, 1. Didn't kill him. Photon torpedoes have been singularly disappointing on this mission, just in terms of killing our enemies. But we should be able to handle you with just phasers alone because you are a light freighter after all. Ooh, not quite, but you did slow him down, right? No, you didn't even manage that. So we're going to just set ourselves right up here, matching speeds with him, get a little bit faster so we can get a little bit closer, and use our phasers to cut them apart. And there we go, convoy defeated. I don't think that's going to take the tile. After all, we weren't able to take the tile just below this with one mission. But if that does, then that gives us direct connection with the... Yep, it did. Okay, we have direct connection with the Hydrons. So the Klingon Empire, they've lost a station, they've lost a planet, they're not having a great day. Hi, shipyard, there's a BBV. Oh, I don't want a BBV. There it is! Haha, I knew if we waited. USS Sydney. Oh, lovely. So let's trade in the Napoleon, and we now have our brand new Federation battleship, the USS Sydney. So the Federation battleship is a fascinating ship. It's packing just a metric ton of phasers. I think it's 15, might be 16. But more importantly, we're talking 10 photon torpedoes. 2 of which only shoot backwards, but other than that, it's also got a whole bunch of missile launchers. And did I also mention the fighters? Yep, move your kit over to the Sydney, because we're getting ourselves ready. We'll take Vulture 3s, because I'm a huge fan of Vultures. And get ourselves up to full missile salvos of Type 4s. And a couple of extra shuttles. I think at this point I'm an admiral. Alright, let's go start putting more pressure on border stations, because that's where the fight is fun and easy. Ah, darn it. Straight up base assault. Where's the tactical station? Well, if you look to the back wall, you're going to notice this absolutely huge console with millions of buttons on it. It's that one. Because that's the weapon complement. 10 photon torpedoes, 9 missile rack Bs, 3 phaser Gs, 15 phaser Xs, and 4 AMDs. Oh, we are a lovely, lovely ship. But here's the other really fun thing about this ship. See, our maximum speed, while charging every single weapon system, is still 11. Isn't that lovely? We have massively upgraded the firepower over our DNH because we're now an X-type refit, so all of our Phaser 1s are Phaser Xs, which means, by the way, that we're using 15 points of power more than the last one on phasers alone, not even including the additional weapons. Lots of buttons. So phasers, photon torpedoes, missile racks, and everything except the missile racks, right? Yes, indeed. Being escorted today by the Monarch battleship carrier HMS Dependable, squaring off against a B-11 super battleship. Oh, and also a dreadnought of a slightly smaller caliber, the C-10. So, 2 battleships, one of them is a battleship carrier, versus the super battleship, and you're a B-10, right? A C-10, so I believe the carrier. So let's retreat a little bit, get in nice and close to our Monarch-class battleship carrier, because, well, actually in the hands of the AI it's not going to be tremendous, because it's not going to have 20 Hornets on board. It's going to have 20... what are the killer bees? The base version of the Hydrogen Fighter, I believe. But he will have a fairly significant forward armament. Unfortunately, he will not be able to use those 4 fusion cannons for anything useful. But if you wanted to wait for the big battleship gun battles, they are here to stay. Assuming, of course, our ship doesn't explode. Which, you know, would be very unfortunate. You know what? Overload the photon torpedoes. Let's go nuts with it. I still have 14 points of power in the forward shield. I'm going to steal from that. We're doing a speed of 11 with maximum electronic warfare, and we still have 8.5 points of power in the shield. Which is just the loveliest thing about these battleships, is they have power. That was the thing, actually, that we ran into when we were trying to, like, test them. Way back when we were still doing skirmish battles at the end of our Starfleet command streams. We found that the battleship was capable of keeping up with X-cruisers, and it was kind of terrifying. Don't let the pesky Romulans on board. Yeah, that's going to be a significant problem. Ah, there they go. All the little killer bees. So inferior to what this ship can actually normally do. So they're about to meet first. Honestly, I'm half tempted to just go for the B-11, because that's going to be just devastating. Shoot everything you've got. Come on, little guys, shoot before you die. There you go. 98 damage. You've opened up his side to me. Well, now he's, you know, turning into me. But, hi. Ooh, that was not good in terms of general accuracy. I did not overload. Killed him. I did not overload the phasers. I meant to do that, and I forgot to. Photon torpedoes are overloaded, but we need to get away from the battleship. Normal on the photon torpedoes, because we do need to build some distance. Our phasers are ready to go again, and they are at full power. So we're starting to turn on into him. If he turns on into us, we can actually blitz through him, because his forward shield is gone, and ours is most certainly not. Yeah, he's probably going to shoot down all the fighters. The B-11 was just... it's mammothly powerful. It's got more phasers than everybody. It's got more shields than everybody. It has more heavy weapons than everybody. This thing is just the pinnacle. Well, I think I said it was the pinnacle of the battleship. I still maintain that it is inferior to the King Condor. But as a straight-up conventional style battleship, she just brings so much to the fight. Oh, we've run him dry. He's got no more. Alright, those missiles are going in for him. How many are you going to be able to hold in your tractor beam? Oh, your fighter squadron came and bailed you out. But then we were able to lay into you with our photon torpedoes, of which we didn't even use all of them. And there's another one. And we have a couple more. They're coming online bit by bit. Okay, forward shield is not in a great place right now, so start to pull away. Phasers, keep them to fire. Oh, our Gatling phasers are getting involved as well. Lovely. Missiles. Oh, his point defense came back online. He's ready for that. Yeah, look at it. Look at just how many AMDs this guy has. Everything about this ship is big. This is the biggest of the big ship. Actually, I don't think it shows AMDs, really? Because I'm not seeing them on his chart. I know he's got them. There we go. Photon torpedoes finished him off. We didn't actually take any penetrating hits there. Nice. I mean, the Monarch-class battleship carrier got absolutely brutalized, and all of his fighter squadrons looked to be dead. Oh, wait. No. This is a base assault, isn't it? Yup. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, let's go find a base. Let's go figure out where this base is. Where are you wallowing towards? Okay, the base is in this direction. That's what he thinks anyway. So photon torpedoes, yes, we're doing well on them. Start to pick up the speed. Yeah, if we're all charged, let's just kick it on to full power. There it is. Oh god, it's a big one. It's a really big one. Please tell me you're not the massive... You're the massive mammoth, gigantic, huge, death-defying starbase of doom and evil. Okay, well, I've killed one of you before with an X-type heavy cruiser and about an hour of my time. We've got a problem. We've got a serious problem. Starbases are way more deadly than planets. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8... 10, 12 phaser X, or 12 phaser 4s, which, by the way, is a grand total of 4 phaser 4s more than a planet. And, by the way, he does not have the same sort of restrictions as a planet in terms of launching wild weasels or... Ooh, you're going to die. You're going to die badly. He does not have the same restrictions as planets do in terms of firing arcs and the like. He's complete 360 degrees, anything he wants. I'm going to see if I can't get in there to save him a bit. But this is going to be a challenge at best. And almost impossible at worst. Okay, he's dead. All stop. All stop. Forward shields. How much power do I got? Hopefully enough, because he can dish out a ton of power. I don't want to have to do this again. Like, the way that I did it the last time. Because the way that I did this the last time, way back, 2 years ago, Season 1... We had an X-type heavy cruiser, they had a starbase, and what I did, literally, was do this. That's the shield I shot. That's the shield and I would follow it with my mouse. Because, otherwise, you're just spreading your damage out on everything. And it was a nightmare. Okay, phasers, get ready to get involved. Okay, they've launched their missiles. Can I kill him? Can I shoot him dead? I cannot. Okay. Photon torpedoes, continue your assault against the starbase. Did we do anything to that shield? No, we did nothing to the shield. That's the problem. In order to hurt him, we need to brave the 12 phaser 4s, the 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 disruptors, the multitude of phaser X's and phaser 3s, his AMD of sheer undestroyableness. I'm going to be honest, I wouldn't even be confident in taking this thing on in a Marak heavy bombardment cruiser. Because unlike a planet who is defenseless against incoming fire, are you going to actually get in close so I can shoot you? I need you to come in close, man. Unlike a planet that can't defend itself with a wild weasel, this thing can. So, if we launch a titanic volley of missiles into him, then at the end of it all, I'm not sure I can do this. I'm really not sure I can do this. At the end of it all, he will just dump a wild weasel and be completely defended from it all. Oh, the timing is just off with it. So we're trying to track this one. This will be the only way we actually pull this off, is to figure out exactly which one of these shields we're focusing on and keep the fire completely condensed to just that. It does actually look like we're starting to drift into this one. So everything was into it that turn. Yeah, we've done nothing to it. Nothing. He's got no more fighters as far as I know. Maybe take an Ellie out of here? Yeah, that's kind of my plan. I want to skirmish him with just a little bit more, but... yeah, we're probably not going to be able to... well, I know we're not going to be able to break this. For a little bit of reference, 6 heavy photon torpedoes on the battle cruiser, the X-type battle cruiser for the Federation, is worth 12 photon torpedoes. So we actually have less firepower. Hello, Sean. You are indeed late, but that's okay. We love to have you around. So there's no way we take this, right? Yeah. We're not going to be able to break through that. Let's pull out before we get too close and we start taking actual damage. Shield reinforcement, go to the stern. How's the battles? Going okay, although we do have to now basically run away from a planet. By the way, the ship does look quite gorgeous. Yeah, we have to run away from this fight because he just has way more firepower than we do. Had the Monarch not been utterly killed in basically no time at all, maybe we could have done something about it. But as things stood, it did not work out so great. So on the bright side, that... Yes, they are. On the bright side, that does mean that the starbase will not be destroyed. So we can continue to attack this tile and capture the starbase rather than lose the starbase. So all in all, it's not a horrible result. I mean, it sucks to lose a Monarch-class battleship carrier, but we did destroy a B-11 super battleship, so that works out quite nicely. A little bit miffed that they didn't give us any credit for that, because come on, it was a B-11. It was a super battleship. It's in the name. Let's be a scout battleship. Let's scout the enemy with our battleshipy prowess. Ready up. Rock and roll. Oh. Who's our target? Are you quite kidding, game? Apparently not. Okay. Our operational goal is to get on top of a freighter, scan it, and then leave. I think the game may have taken leave of its senses because this is utterly ridiculous. We are a battleship. He's a freighter. Did you really need us for this mission? And let's be honest with ourselves. Ah, well. We'll scan them. We'll know. Of course they do. And not only just scout. They want us to scout one of the most weak and pathetic, pointless ships ever. We did not set up anything aside from overloaded the phasers, and that's just because I wanted to have them set up. You have a Lance of Medium X, kill a railgun tank. Yes, indeed. 300. We got 320 prestige for that. That's more than a little ridiculous. Great, a patrol, so we can do a straight up battle. Maybe run into an actual, run into a B-11 and just do a straight one-on-one battle.
Battle stations.
So let's actually prepare ourselves for this one properly. So we're gonna prep that, even though we kind of don't need it. We have 9 missile launchers. Do we really need a scatter pack? Well, it's not the most missile launchers you can have. The most, as far as I know, is 12. Hey, there's our target. Actually, no, it's 14, isn't it? No, 16? No, it's 14. So we have run into a single Orion Pirate heavy cruiser. It is a CVLX-1. He will be a fighter-armed carrier. Lucky for us, we managed to bring, well, 4 AMDs. And these 4 AMDs are brutal against fighters. There's also an FD-5 off in the distance, so we do have a light cruiser going on here. Are you also a carrier? No, you're an FD-5X. So it shouldn't be all that difficult to take. Let's kick up the speed just a little bit so we can actually get underway. Photon torpedoes, set them to overloaded. And check the power budget. By the way, this one can be set to normal mode because it's basically worthless. It only shoots backwards, and I know some people have made the comment that the back one should always be overloaded because you're always going to be at point-blank range and an overrun. But at the end of the day, I don't care. Okay, I take that back. I care enough. Overload it. May as well. Increase the speed time. We're going to dive right on top of him, nail him with everything we've got. As long as he doesn't have plasma torpedoes, we'll be fine. If he does have plasma torpedoes, our forward shield is about to be in a not super great state, but we're going to hope that's not going to be the case. All right, are you going to launch your fighters anytime soon, or are you... There they are. Okay, couldn't quite see. You are a plasma... Why? Why are you like this? Okay, well, we're going to waste our Gatling phaser, which is a pretty significant amount of firepower. Forward shields are good. Hi, I have come to kill you. Photon torpedoes? The rest of the weapons? Well, we didn't even need the missiles, so there is that much. And we've got an FD-5, and he's going to get onto our stern in probably short order. Lucky for us, we do have a pair of photon torpedoes aimed directly in that direction, so he probably isn't going to have the greatest of things. Oh, and it appears we didn't overload our phasers, so they're all ready to go immediately. Lovely, so we should be able to hurt him quite badly. How's my forward shield going? I don't think I have that much power into it at the moment. Fire! Open him up. Lovely. Do you think we should return? Nah. We'll be fine. We'll wait for him for just a moment. Oh, the Gatling phasers are in range. So now we can get them to just continually do their incredibly nasty work as our phasers prepare for another barrage. There we go. And we actually managed to avoid some of our phasers on that one, but we do have a stern mount. And we didn't even get to use the aft-firing photon torpedoes. It's one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of them. I would have preferred those photon torpedoes to be facing forward. Can you imagine what 12 forward-facing photon torpedoes would do? It'd be lovely. Just the amount of damage that you would deal would just be absurd. And fun. Fun is the most important thing, I feel. Alrighty, what's the Empire defense on this thing down to? 4. Okay, so we're getting pretty close to breaking that entirely. Hi, supplies. I need missiles. Why? Because we used a lot of them. They're a fun piece of equipment. We should really use our vultures more, but there's so few of them. Like, they don't give you quite enough to make it worthwhile to try using, because you'll just lose them, and then you gotta replace them, and that's expensive. So you end up not really using them at all. At least that's what I'm finding at this point. All systems, overload. Gonna go with the 4 and the 2. And the forward shield reinforcement. Because the 4 ECM gives us the potential of getting up to a defense shift of 2, which is huge. And the 2 takes away from a defense shift of 2, turns it into a 1. So that's pretty much the main reason why we go 4 and 2, because it is probably one of the better balancing outs as long as you can maintain both of them. Okay, we're dealing with a heavy cruiser. It looks like ooh, it's a C7, and the C7 has a reinforced neck and additional engines on the back. That's mostly it. They're a cool ship, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of them. But at the end of the day, they suffer from similar problems with most other Klingon ships, in being that they are maneuverable at the expense of defense, and they have incredibly weak warp coils that are prone to failure and destruction. Okay, you know what? We're going to do this. We are going to deploy them on an overrun.
We're going in.
Okay, so we are preparing for a full run on this one. Started at 2300, one happiness engine. Was it? Oh, is it 2300? Thank you, Raider. Yeah, it just happened. I've been waiting to say anything about it. Oh, beautiful. I've been waiting to say anything about it because, you know, I figure if I mentioned it, someone would just unsubscribe and bring us back under 400, so I was waiting until about 401, 402. But yeah, we did hit 400 subs like 2 days ago, which is pretty cool, because considering only just a couple of months ago we had only just hit 200, I mean, we've expanded quite a bit. I'm really impressed. Photon torpedoes to proximity mode, because we don't need that kind of power anymore, mainly because we're going to be shelling, but we are going to steadily get close to the base, because we're a battleship now, and I think we can kind of bully the base a little bit. And the base does not have, at the end of the day, any tractor beams nor wild weasels, so our missiles should be very effective, especially when stacked up in a large group, which I should attempt. I don't know how many missiles I can control. Huh, that's an interesting question. Photon torpedoes. Wow, I think that missed every single one of them. That's really disappointing. Can you control 12? Can you control 15? No, you can control 12. Okay, we'll start to slow down. Let's get ready to an all stop here. Yep, you can't stop our missile barrage. We have enough to finally cut through. So this will make asteroid-based assaults much more quick, as opposed to before when they would take literally forever. So we will just get ourselves... pop the missiles. That'll take them out. We have the fastest way of killing them. Never mind, the photon torpedoes got there first. They're trying to remind us that they are the primary heavy weapon of the Federation and that they do not like being replaced. And they'd like us to keep that in mind. And we shall, but still, missiles are a lot of fun. I wish that I could turn several of those launchers into MIRV launchers, because a Federation battleship with MIRVs would be much more effective. Actually, ooh, a Federation battleship carrier with MIRVs. That would be something. Because that would protect your fighters. Are you kidding me? We're trying to save this thing. We worked really hard to do it, and now it's going to force the base assault on us. We don't want to base assault you, man. At least it looks like a smaller one. Alright, so what are we looking at here? C-10X, and we've got that Monarch-class battleship carrier back again. So, we kind of outgun him, just a little bit. However, do I want to prep any of these? No, I don't. There's no shuttle that I want to use. Do I want to overload? I really don't. What I want to do is I want to get some speed going on here, because I want to get there before the Monarch does. That way we can kind of prep the fighters a bit. Alright, get the forward shield going on here. Reinforce that. Monarchs have to get blown up. Well, I'm fairly certain I saw the starbase was a little bit smaller, because you can see it in the distance when you load in before it loads in the fog of war, and it looked to be a smaller outpost. So it's probably not going to be as dangerous. We should be okay. I think this time we're actually going to be able to destroy it. We've weakened it enough anyway. And if we had forfeited the mission, the tower would have flipped back to Klingon at a defense of 30, which would have been higher than what it started at. Which, you know, not exactly fair. Have some photon torpedoes. We hit one. Torpedoes. Fire my torpedoes. Phasers to overload. So on speed of time just a bit. Okay, we came in first. So we should be here before his buddies are. Lob the missiles. Let's see if we can't distract his point defense system. You have a pretty considerable amount of missiles. I mean, you have an equal amount of missiles to me, but still a pretty considerable amount of missiles. Let's see how he wants to handle this. He is going to crash stop. Lovely. That'll give me a little bit of time. And I need a little bit of time. More importantly, that will, one, make him vulnerable, and two, the fighters might be able to hit him like a truck. Okay, a little bit closer. I need to be a little bit closer. Yes, it's gonna suck, because he's about to shoot us with a lot of firepower. Okay, but we took it. We handled it. It wasn't a problem. We gotta open him up before those fighters get in range. 3, 2, 1. Crack him open. Shit. Normal load. There we go. Phasers. There we go. Just a titanic wave of fire is what just engulfed him. Had we gone overload on our photon torpedoes, we would have killed him. Alright, come on. Shoot a Monarch-class battleship carrier. You're right there. You have Hellbores and fusion cannons, and you're actually at fusion cannon range for once. You're overloaded phasers, right? There goes most of his aft. Oh wow, we only use about half of our phasers when we fire the phaser capacitor. Alrighty, lovely. So we managed to save most of them. It's a BTX. Let's find out exactly what sort of pain and terror we have invited on ourselves. Like I said, it does look to be smaller. So we want to stick close to the hood. I don't want to get too far away from him. Because that way I can contribute my AMDs to his defense. Because the Monarch does not have AMDs. It is solely reliant on its quad Gatling phaser. Yeah, this is significantly less powerful. We're only looking at 2, 4, 6, 8 phaser 4s. And the 8 phaser 4s are dangerous, don't get me wrong, but wait. Yeah, and he only... Is that? 2, 4... Oh no, it's only 6, okay. So the 6 phaser 4s are dangerous, but he's only got 6 phaser X's to back that up. He's basically a super... Yes, it is the hood. It's basically a supersized version of the asteroid base. Now he will have shields, which, you know, that'll make things a little bit more difficult, but it's not going to be impossible. We can actually get in there and bully him a bit. In fact, that's exactly what the hood's going to do. The hood's going to soar right on in there, just blasting him with everything he's got. The hood's going to take catastrophic damage, but he'll be fine. But as you can see, he's plinking away at the fighters, doing lots of little points of damage. Fighters are very well defended based on their from long-range fire. Oh, here comes the... Unfortunately, here comes the other fighters, who will probably kill each other. Photon torpedoes. Hey, we got some hits in. So we gave them an opportunity to win. I don't think they're going to take it. I think they're going to lose this fight. Phasers, let's get ready to actually finish people off. Okay, all of the enemy fighters have been defeated. And it's now just us and the starbase. So he actually does not have a sufficient number of phaser mounts to handle all of our missiles. Does he have an AMD? He has a single AMD. Interesting. So let's start slowing down so we have some forward shield reinforcement going on. Because we're going to need it. I'll slow down a lot. Because we're getting really close, and this is going to be a lot of damage, isn't it? I'll stop. Get that ship not moving. Okay, he's firing back at us. Let's see if we managed our shields sufficiently well enough. See, and there he deployed a Wild Weasel. Something that he can do, but, well, his friends can't. Okay, we did kill it. So that is good. But this is one of the things that I was concerned about. Because one of the things that Tar wants to do is he wants to make Wild Weasels last for basically 30 seconds instead of 5 after they've been destroyed. And my concern is with things like starbases, because they don't move, so they'll never turn it off until they fire, and they won't fire until after everything goes to heck. Can you break through the shield? Yes, we will be able to cut through the shields of this starbase. This starbase is already dead. He just hasn't realized it yet. So photon torpedoes, proximity just blast away. Oh, proximity photon torpedoes are not ready? Really? I'm targeting the thing. Oh, I'm within a range of 9. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Well, we've got to commit to it then. Set the photon torpedoes to normal mode so we can actually shoot. Oh, yep, like I said. Yes, Hellbores are fantastic because they get to focus on the weakest shield. Now, unfortunately, that'll destroy the starbase, so we're not going to have a jumping off point for the next location. But at the end of the day, the tile's taken and it's ours now. So that works out for us. And yeah, it would have been nice to have, but not a big deal since we've got a planet right here anyway. Alright, back home, we'll go to the shipyard. Hey, there's another BBX. We can't afford it, but it's there. There's actually 3 BBXs. There's one there, we're in one, so that's 3. 4, so there's 3 BBXs in the store right now, and we're in a 4th one. That's kind of ridiculous. That just kind of shows just how good the Federation economy is doing right now. We've captured several pretty key planets, and it's being very useful. Alrighty, so basically all of this we've captured. I don't think we've captured this. Yeah, we haven't captured this planet here, but we're starting to work on wrapping up the Klingon Empire. We're getting around them. So we're doing quite nicely. But that's actually going to do it for today's stream. I'm glad you all could join us for this one. It's always fun to have Starfleet Command. This is where the channel started, and it is where the channel will continue from because it is just so much fun. Yeah. We're thinking about doing another top 8 list. It's going to be starter frigates, comparing them against each other. If you have any thoughts on that, feel free to mention them, because I'd always like to take input from the community, even though I've kind of already got my mental list on how things are going. But anyway, I've been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. Before I see a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon. Leave a comment as to what you think, and I will see you all in the next episode.